Can you hear me? 1 second. For 5 minutes, you can hear me. Okay. Um, which song is this? It's Open Your Eyes by this band called Walter Bridge. Singer is Miles Kennedy. Okay, cool. So tell me, how's it going? How is it going, guys? Tell me. Tell me fast. Okay, good. Good to hear that. Good to hear that it is all fine and good and better. Very good. Okay. Feeling light. Very good. Okay, so now, before we begin today's class, a couple of things, which is that what you just underwent, the CAT and everything, I'm sure you know all this, but I'll still say it, is what is going to happen for the rest of your lives, okay? School time and most of college time, I understand there was competition, you wanted to get marks and all that, but still nothing much was at stake. Also, because the age you were in when you were in school and even in college, at that age, it's because of parental pressure and lots of social pressure and all that. These things seem to be very important, that you have to get good marks and all. But because of that age and because of the way the mind is at that time, the brain is, uh, it's not so much of an issue, like, unless it is like a lot of pressure and all that. Like, for example, it happens in quota is in KOTA, and those kind of things. But otherwise, kids get under pressure during exams and whatever, and because of the parents. But otherwise, kids are fairly chilled out, and so on. But what is going to happen from now on, and I think CAT is the first of these, is that this is how life is going to be. Unless you change your perception, you change the way you look at the world and look at things and so on. But apart from that, if that doesn't happen, then it is going to be very common and very regular. And what that will mean is that your life is going to be inundated, like you are going to be drowned in these kinds of things. Okay. Now, it is important to rise in life and, do well and whatever, all that is cool, but not at the expense of the very thing because of which these things are considered important. Now, this is something that grown-ups don't understand. Like, one of the biggest, what should I say, sadnesses, one of the biggest sadnesses that I personally have, is that even oldies don't understand this. Like, you could be 70-year-old or 80-year-old. And a whole lot of these oldies don't realize, I mean, they don't objectively and honestly look back at their lives and then tell their youngsters that, not so cool. I mean, all that is important, but don't forget the fact why all that is important. Well, sometimes really bad things make people realize. So there was a nurse, some of you who are my live students would already know this. I must have talked about this. But there was a nurse who was working in a hospice, which was for the terminally ill patients. Terminally ill meaning it was guaranteed that these people will die because of the illness or the disease that they had. And so she, I don't know what came into her head and whatever, she started asking questions to these people and noting them down. And, one of the most common questions that she asked was, what is your biggest regret? And so she initially ended up writing an article on that, but then the article got so much popularity and everything that she ended up writing a book on that, so anyway, and one of the, I think the first regret, meaning the number one regret, which was common across the spectrum, like most people had this regret, and therefore it was the number one regret. It was that I wish I hadn't worked so hard. That sounds very, very strange, okay, to people, especially to people your age. But that's what they said. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And by work so hard, they were specifically referring to their job, their office thing, and whatever. And I wish I had spent more time with my loved ones, family, and especially friends. Friends, beyond an age, once you get married and all, become not primary, which is a mistake, I think. I mean, if you are lucky enough to have good friends, you should never make them secondary. I mean, I'm not saying they should be more important than family, but they definitely shouldn't be less important. Anyway, all that is not the point right now. What I'm trying to tell you is that how I started was it's important to have goals. It's important to work hard. It's important to go for achievements and whatever you want to do, but you have to ask yourself, why do I want to do that? And eventually all of it will come down to at a very, very what should I say, very, very broadly speaking, it will come down to that I mean you can make it more specific, but I'm being just extremely general, and which is that I want to have a good life. Aristotle called it eudaimonia. Eudaimonia basically means a fulfilled life, okay, or a fulfilling life, and so on. And Nandini, I can understand friends are, but at your age, they always are. In fact, they are the primary thing at your age, friends. But if you remember, what I specifically said was later on, especially once you get married and everything. So I understand at your age, friends are the most important, but then they cease to be as people become older. Anyway, coming back to this, so coming back to the eudaimonia thing, that you want to have a good life, people end up forgetting that for some strange reason, which is very strange, because think about it. All of those other things you want to do, all of them you want to do because of this. Okay. So at a broad level, and then the specifics. But this is the reason why people want to do that. And then they suddenly miss out on this, and then they just keep doing it. I don't know, for strange reasons, for example, pressure, or for just for the sake of more, okay, or this is very common across the world, but especially in India. Sorry, they end up taking loans, home loans and all sorts of loans. They want a fancy car, and so they don't have that kind of money, but then because they're earning well, they know that their EMI can take care of that and all that. And then it's a trap, because now you suppose you hate your job now. I mean, you didn't initially, you figured it out after a year that you hate your job. But then if you have an overall EMI of, let's say, 60,000 per month, it's very difficult to now leave your job, because you're stuck now, because you have to pay that EMI and lots of other things. So anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is that we forget the very reason because of which these other things we ended up doing and want to do and so on. For example, MBA, doing it from a very good B school and whatever. That's not a goal in life, in the sense that that is an aim, meaning it's something that helps you reach that goal, but it's not something. I mean, I've done an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and my work is done now. I've achieved nirvana. No, I mean, you did it because of the other things that you wanted in life. I'm sure a lot of you are doing it because you have no idea, and parents and so on. But generally speaking, this is the deal. And so all of these things are because of having a good life, more fulfilled life and so on. And people tend to miss out on that. My all I can tell you right now is that remember this and don't miss out on that. Don't miss out on that, because there will be so many situations in life wherein if you're honest and you are not under pressure, you will realize that, suppose there are two choices, one relates to this eudaimonia thing, the good life thing, and one relates to these more, and let me do this next thing, and you'll figure out that no, as of now, I can have a more fulfilled life by not going for that and just carrying on, so to remember that, because what happens is that people forget, and then they just keep thinking of those other things, and this is what creates problems. This is why a lot of people with a lot of money, with a lot of other things, end up being with psychiatrists, or not being with psychiatrists, and end up with psychiatrists, or going to psychiatrists, or end up not very, I mean, on superficial level, they seem to be happy and all, but then you go deep down and you will like, something is missing, which is why traveling, for example, why has traveling become such a big deal? Okay, one reason is that people have that kind of money. Cool. But then why such a huge thing? What is going on? Why can't you go for a picnic with your family or friends to a nice place near your city or in your city? So why, that's the thing that I'm talking about. So I don't know how your CAT went and all that, but do not forget why you prepared for CAT and why you want to get through. And so, because of whether it went well, and especially if it went badly, do not become so depressed and so sad and so dejected that you miss out on everyday small joys and small pleasures. More often than not, I don't have to tell these things to people your age, because you guys are damn cool at your age. People are extremely cool and very nice and very chilled out. But I have been seeing every passing year, this pressure is increasing on people your age, which is very unfortunate. And people my age and older than me are to be blamed, because, we didn't realize this and we are putting all that on you. But all I can tell you is that remember this, every day gives us opportunities to have genuine joy, to have genuine pleasure, to have genuine contentment, fun, all that. The other things are there. I'm not asking you to ignore them, but do not put those things above every day. Okay, so also I'm assuring you, considering my guess of what kind of backgrounds you guys have, you've been able to pay us money, you've been able to pay lots of institutes money to fill their forms and so on. So considering all that, I can assure you your life will be fine. You won't have too many problems. Okay, so don't put everything on this. This happens and all cool. This doesn't happen. Not cool. No, it doesn't work like that. Look around you. So just do not give it so much importance. It is important, but not so much. Okay, so chill, and genuinely chill. Okay, not for the sake of it. So all that is all that I can tell you. And do not forget this and remember this. And it's your world. Why are you letting others decide how you should live and what is important and what is not important? And if you don't do this, you are useless. And if you do this, you are cool. No, I don't think so. I've seen people who ended up doing these things, and I don't even want to talk to them for 5 minutes. And I've seen people who have achieved none of these things, and they are some of the most amazing people to be around with. So just don't listen to so much. I mean, listen, but make your own mind. Okay. All right. So that was all that I wanted to say. Cool. Of course it is. Nandini. Okay. And one just, and I'm saying, it will be every day. Every day you will get these opportunities. Every single day. Okay. Like 4 days back, Chandra and I went, I think the day after CAT, Chandra and I went to a sort of a farm which a friend of mine has near Pune only. We went there, and we it's a very nice natural setting and whatever. And after a long time, this is so unfortunate and sad. After a long time, I saw so many butterflies in one place, like so many. Okay, and it was amazing. It has, as I said, it's been very long since I saw. Then at night, we were trying, because we were in like a non-urban setting. So we were village. In fact, we were trying to figure out the stars, because, we don't see stars because of pollution and light especially. And we were trying to figure out, we could see more than the city, but then we couldn't see too much. And we were like, what the hell? Is it everywhere now, pollution? I was like, pollution shouldn't be here. So suddenly we thought, and so we asked the caretaker to shut all the lights, all of them. And suddenly there was this influx of stars, okay? So many stars. And it was beautiful, So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that every day we will get these opportunities. It is just that we are so hell-bent and so stuck up in what I don't have, that what is there right in front of me, I don't even notice, because I don't have that. Extremely unfortunate. Okay. So anyway, coming back to today's class. So of course, people wake up suddenly after CAT, and now of course they want to focus on XAT and everything, and then suddenly they figure out, either at that time or they figure it sometime back, or maybe long back, that XAT has something called DM, decision making. It is also called BDM, by the way, business decision making. So do not forget that, business decision making. Okay, and so. And then suddenly, what the hell, and suddenly everyone is saying that, oh man, DM is like this, and we don't know what's going on, and so everybody starts figuring out what to do, and then they figure out, like our students figure out, that we don't have a BDM. I mean, we don't have a course or lectures or whatever, and then like, what the hell? And so they start looking for elsewhere. I've seen this in messages, kids asking, where should I join BDM or DM and whatever. We don't have a DM specific module, not because we are evil people, but because there cannot be a module, in the sense that we can have a module wherein there are practice questions and we can discuss them. But that is as good as the mocks, and the explanations and whatever. But you cannot have theory. You just cannot have theory. Okay, so 1 second. Just give me a moment. Array, why isn't this moving? Okay. So DM, which is also known as, so basically the full term is BDM, business decision making. So this is important. Yeah, so we are talking about theory. What's going on? My handwriting. Yeah, it doesn't exist. And that is why we don't have. And you will understand after today's class. But don't worry, I may not have subsequent classes, but I'll make sure that somebody takes more classes with you. And not because I don't want to take, but I think, as you will understand today, because of the way DM is, it makes sense that different people take classes. So that's why. Okay, so so please, those of you who haven't joined anything till now, please don't. Let me say this, and I won't say it later, but just now, let me just get over this. Anybody who's starting a course either exclusively for DM or focusing on DM, or even for XAT, I'm so sorry to say this, but even for XAT, the same people who had a CAT course are crooks. I don't want to say this, but I don't even know who all have started, but I know every year this happens. They're absolute crooks. Okay. Nobody needs this. You just need some sort of guidance as to what's going on here, which we will discuss today. And of course, in later class also, but today should be sufficient. But it cannot exist. The theory cannot exist. Okay. And you will understand as we move on today. So nothing like that. But I'll still spend a few minutes on certain important things you have to keep in mind when you're doing DM questions. Okay. Yes, Omang. That's the thing. FOMO is one of the biggest problems. No? Okay. So the first thing you have to remember is use as much as possible logic, especially CR skills. Critical reasoning skills will become important, not at a hardcore level, but to a decent level. So it shouldn't be random, don't make it absolutely random. What I'm trying to say when I'm using the word logic is I'm saying don't make it subjective. Try to so now, how do you in this specific case of DM? It is not very easy to distinguish subjectivity and objectivity. So here's something that will help you think something which will be universally applicable. So it is not as if I think this is the case because that's the way I think, and I understand that people may disagree, but I don't care because this is what I think is the right thing. No. That is wrong. You should try to choose answer choices with which most people will agree, keeping in mind it is business decision making, and so keeping in mind ethics, and in a narrower sense, business ethics. Now, I have written ethics as a bigger set and business ethics as a narrower set very consciously, Because what happens is the way people look at business and therefore business ethics, a lot of times things like selfishness and profits over everything else, these things become paramount. These things become extremely important. Not here, and definitely not in XAT. And you should remember this in XAT and even IIMs at the interview stage also, that uh, hardcore business goals should not supersede broad ethical goals. Okay, so keep this in mind for interview also, but definitely for XAT and in this case DM. So ethics are more important. However, there are situations in which business ethics, and it might sound as if I'm contradicting myself, but just pay attention to what I'm going to say now. In some cases, business ethics will take more importance than ethics in general, as long as you're not, as long as that business ethics decision is not wrong. So in a way, if you think about it, there's a contradiction that, okay, I'm saying as long as it is not unethical, but then that's what I said anyway, that I think, well, no. So pay attention, I'll say it using different words. There are times when, see, ethics are not black and white. Ethics, I'm sure you guys know, most of the area of ethics is very gray. So there are situations, and it will happen in DM, wherein two equally ethical choices will be fine because you're doing nothing wrong, but you can choose either one of them. In which case, business ethics or business will take precedence, meaning it will be more important. In that case, what is beneficial for the firm or the company, or for you as an employee or as a boss, they will become more important as long as no harm is being done. So when you between these two ethical choices, in that case, business will take precedence. Of course, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a business course. Okay, so that is what you have to keep in mind. And yeah, roughly speaking, this is what there is to it. Beyond that, anything else apart from this, we can only know that as and when we come across those situations. So as and when we will do these questions, we will discuss if something else comes up here. Okay, and sometimes the last thing is, sometimes nobody knows what's going on, in the sense that two answer choices, it's definitely not more than two, but sometimes two answer choices fulfill all the conditions, everything is fine, but XAT for some reason has given one of them as the answer. And in that case, if we come across such a situation, I won't be able to tell you why, because and I'll explain, I'll tell you that both of them make sense. In fact, it is also possible that I probably prefer the other one, which is not the answer. Fortunately, it is going to be rare and probably not at all. Okay, so but it happens. Okay, so keep that in mind, which is why I said that the subsequent DM classes, I'll make sure that someone else says because of this, So, and because of the very reason, because of this very reason, you can't have theory, because theory means that there are these rules, there are these things you can keep in mind and everything falls in place. No, it's not like that here. It is supposed to be objective, but there are times when it is borderline, when it is very gray. Okay, so that is the thing. So we will do XAT 2021 DM. Okay, last years, and then we'll discuss the further things. Before I start that, any question, anybody? Smriti, the question will more often than not, the question will be clear enough that you have to think as the employer or as the employee. So not a problem, but suppose sometimes there is this confusion. But for example, suppose, let's say one question could be that, okay, even though the question is asking me as an employee, shouldn't my answer be based keeping in mind the employer? Yes, but not at the total expense of yourself. Okay. Because remember, they're also looking at, so they are not looking at employees who are slaves. They are looking at employees who are independent, who can think on their own, and who are willing to put their foot down if this or this is being harmed. In that case, even if you go against the employer, it is still fine. So keep that in mind, which is why I said ethics is more important, not business. I hope now it makes sense why I said that. Okay. All right. Next question. Any other question, anybody? All right. So let me just share with you. So I'll share the screen with you. And then the second question here, the answer choices are here. So I'll probably put this in the message because you won't be able to see the screen otherwise. Yeah. So there are 3 questions in every set. Yeah. So I will scroll this down after some time. Or if you want, I can even give this as, yeah. So, but you please do this. Okay. I can't, is someone talking, asking something? Okay, probably no. All right, please go ahead and do this.
Sir, is the where it says Q1, is that not where the question starts? Where are the options in 1 to 4 and Q1 is A, B, C, D, E?
This is the first question, and then these are the answer choices. This is the second question, and
what have you sent in the chat?
The chat, what I've sent is this second question, actual questions are here. So this is what I've sent you in the first part of the chat. And the next is the third question.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ayush, you can read the second question. I don't know. Have you joined late, Ayush? So second question I've put in the chat, no? But you can have a look here. Acha, okay. All right. Is there anybody who wants me to wait, or should I start? Anybody who wants me to hang on? All right. So I think I'll start now. In case anybody wants me to wait, just let me know. Okay. So I'll start this. So I'm sure all of you understood what's going on here. So I'll straight away start with the question. Ashraf feels happy after this brief email interaction with Sridevi. Which of the following statements, if true, will best make Ashraf strongly hopeful about his imminent promotion? So let's go through all the answer choices so as to get a hang of why something is right and why something is wrong, and so on. So if you look at A, Ashraf's immediate junior, Shamsher, who worked closely with Sridevi, was promoted last year. Now, for all practical purposes, this is an irrelevant choice because it has almost nothing to do with the given situation. The given situation is about a specific thing that he got an email from the HR head, and because of which he did something. And this brief email interaction with Sridevi is what has made him happy. And it is because of this that he is hopeful. So it has got nothing to do with another person, completely irrelevant. Okay. Another way, I mean, one more thing we can say is that, well, he worked closely with Sridevi, so does so does Ashraf. And so, so then what's the point of all this information? Which is very similar to what I said earlier. So that is why A is wrong. So I have a feeling that one person marked A, I think. And that's, I think, Smriti. So Smriti, have you understood what is wrong with A, and anybody else who marked A? Yeah. And whenever you guys or anyone have, whenever you have a doubt, just let me know. Okay. Now let's look at B. It is for the first time ever that Sridevi directly approached Ashraf to contact a client. In fact, if you think about it a little bit, it probably goes against how that she was in an emergency situation, so she, did whatever. But before that, she never approached him. Says something bad about him in the sense, I mean, not bad, but definitely not super positive. That, oh, okay, she doesn't really think about him too much, So why should one incident give him hope that, oh, hence I will be promoted? Shouldn't it be shouldn't it be more than one incident, and so on? That is why B is wrong. Let's come to C. Sridevi chose Ashraf over others for help while in the midst of a meeting with the top management. Now, what does this tell us? It tells us that she was in the meeting, she was busy, she suddenly thought something is important. How come only Ashraf came into her head? Uh, because of the opposite of this, that probably she relies on Ashraf, she trusts him, and she finds him responsible, and she knows that even in this emergency scenario, if I reach out to him, chances are my work will be done. Okay, whatever. So this is decent, we'll keep it, and let's see if we have a better answer choice. So let's look at D now. Ashraf has heard from his industry friends that HR heads accept favors for recommending employees promotions. There are two problems with this. One, if you remember in the logic classes that we had, those of you who've done with me, that one, it is inductive logic. Inductive logic is when you generalize, when from some piece of information you generalize as if it will apply to all situations or most situations, or as if it will apply everywhere. So this is the first problem. He has heard from an industry friend that this is what happens, does not mean Sridevi will be like that. The second and a bigger problem with D is that she is not asking for a personal favor. She is asking him to send gift vouchers to a client. This is not Sridevi's work. This is New Tech's work. I hope you get that. So there are two problems with D. E, Sridevi is known for her elite social circle and extravagant lifestyle. This is a stupid answer choice. She hasn't asked 50,000 for her own extravagance. She's asked for the company. So useless. Hence, the best is the answer choice. Now tell me any doubt or any discussion you want to have or whatever.
Sir,
yeah.
Had the HR head mentioned here in the fourth option been Sridevi herself, would that still not go against ethics? But would that make it the right choice?
Can you repeat it?
If in the fourth option, instead of HR head, it's mentioned Sridevi herself, would it still be the wrong option? I do think it will still be the wrong option. I just want to know if it will go against against the ethics to
so
be
you
the wrong
mean
option.
Ashraf has heard from Sridevi?
Yes, sir. No.
That's a strange thing.
From his friends, that Sridevi herself accept favors. It would still be the wrong option, right?
Yes, because the other problem with D plays a role, which is she's not asking for a favor. It's not a favor at all. She's asking him to do something for the company. She cannot. She's in a meeting. That's not a favor. He's been given a job.
Yes, sir. So it's nothing to do with ethics. I believe it's something to do with ethics.
Yes, it hasn't got anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question in the first one?
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, but accepting favors can be for the office work as well. Why only for personal work?
It's a problem with the word favor. There is a meaning to the word favor. So if your boss, suppose you're working in a company, if your boss cannot do something because he or she is stuck or busy doing something else, and if that boss asks you to do that thing, remember it's a part of the job, then it is not really a favor, and definitely not a favor to him or her. I mean, in a very minor sense, it is that fine, I was supposed to do it, but I cannot. But now you have to, okay, so it's a good question that you asked, because now it brings me to the gray area, which is that,
Sir, but it's also in that question is that it's not sure. He has heard from somebody, right? He is
yeah,
also himself
yeah,
not
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
even
that
if
could be
that's
the
the case.
reason, but I'm coming up with with something which will help you in other questions also, which is that if your boss especially asks you to do something that the boss was supposed to do, but the boss genuinely cannot do because the boss is busy doing something else, then though it's sort of a favor, but you as an employee or you as a junior of that boss ought to do it as a good employee. If you don't, because you say that it is his job or her job, not mine, then, but believe me, sooner or later they will fire you. So it's inbuilt into the system. I mean, what else are we supposed to do in a company? Apart from the preordained 5 things that we are supposed to do. Oh, this is all that there is to it, no? And which is why a boss is a boss, which is why people want to become bosses so that they can do these things. Okay, cool, makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and somebody's asking why not option B over C. So I don't know, Karan, you probably didn't pay attention when I said that. This almost goes against Ashraf in the sense that if this is the first time she has asked him, for this thing, then she hasn't before. So then he's not the person she goes to at the first instance. And so why should this one exception, because she was she just couldn't help it, so she approached him. Why should this one instance ensure that he gets promoted? In fact, quite the opposite. Makes sense, Karan?
Sir, actually, I was saying option B. It's a chance because in the passage, second paragraph, it is written like he says she contacted him for the first time. Like that was the point I wanted to clarify.
It was the first time she ever contacted him. Yeah, so it still means what I said, that this definitely shouldn't give him absolute hope that he will be promoted. In fact, the only thing what you've told me, what it does is it just changes something that I said with respect to C, which is that I said that probably she approaches him all the time. So that gets changed. Cool, no problem. But the reason why B is wrong remains the same. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. All right. So let's come to the second one now. Ashraf does not hear anything from Sridevi in the next few days. Anxious, he meets up with Sridevi and ensures the gift voucher is appreciated by the client. This surprises her, who closely scrutinizes emails, discovered they originated from a different ID. Taken aback, he requests her to get compensated by the company. She asks him to justify his compensation demand. Ashraf gives the following reasons. So his reasons are whatever these, and then the question is which for the mentioned will best help. Okay, so which are the best reasons? So I heard, however, my financial rectitude is on record. Now this makes sense. This is a decent answer choice. Okay. And then we go to 2. I acted in the greater interest of the company. This also sort of makes sense. We'll keep this. The spam mail reached my inbox due to the failure of the company's email filter. Makes sense. I mean, not so bad. 4th, a new tech employee who was robbed of 20,000 was not punished. Couple of problems with this. First of all, as of now, we don't know that he's being punished. He wants compensation. So it's not as if that he's being punished. So this is the first problem that We don't know if he will be punished or not. He wants his money back, and she's saying, okay, give me reasons why your money should be given back. There's no concept of punishment as of now. So that is the first problem. The second problem is this person was robbed of the money. Okay, and whereas what Ashraf has done is borderline stupid. I mean, in one sense, or at the okay, fine. If not stupid, then at least careless. So fourth is definitely not a reason he can give. I mean, she won't accept it as a reason. So fourth is out. In the past, some of my acquaintances had been similarly duped. This actually goes against him in the sense that it is like he doesn't even learn from something which happens around him. So if his friends have gotten duped, or his acquaintances, then he should be all the more alert, that what the hell is going on. So fourth and fifth are out. And so since we have to choose three, and we have to choose three, 1, 2, 3, and so automatically B is the answer. So now tell me what discussion or confusion you have. Bharat, tell me. Oh, did you raise your hand by mistake, Bharat? Acha. So, Paks, what might have happened is that after my explanation, they probably understood. That would be the reason. Hang on. Let me just take care of Priyanshu first. For once, can you repeat why not 5? Why not 5? Acha, this. Yeah. So Priyanshu, what I said was it actually goes against him. I mean, she will not. I mean, if he gives this as a reason, she will actually get angry, because what this shows is that he doesn't learn. If his acquaintances have been similarly duped, so two problems. I've only discussed one. I'll discuss the second one right now. But the first one, which I've discussed, is that the first problem is that if people around him, acquaintances or whoever, got duped in the past, this should actually make him more alert, And remember, the word similarly is important. So something to do with email probably. And so he should be all the more alert, all the more careful. This is the first reason. And the second reason is that we don't know that those duped people got the compensation or not. That is the second problem. And connected to the second problem is the third problem. We don't even know whether they probably could have been castigated, that what the hell, are you mad? Something like that. So that is why fifth is a problem. What is one trying to convey? I heard, however, financial rectitude is in record. So basically, Shruti, what it means is that I made a mistake. I'm sorry. However, if you look at my record, like if you look at my history with your company, I have been very cool, especially when it came to financial matters. So I haven't made similar mistakes in the past, and I've been pretty fine, and all that. Okay. Shruti. Yeah. Neeraj, 3 and 5 together, employee could have been duped similarly, like the same email fraud occurred earlier recently, so can be a valid option. Arav, without going back to the passage, just reading your question, if similar things have occurred in the past, then an employee is expected to be more alert. So if similar email fraud has occurred in the past, then it shows more badly on Ashraf that he repeated that. Okay, Arif? That is the problem. And Akash, you need to change your message settings from direct to everybody. So anyway, basically what Akash is saying, please explain 3 again. It is nowhere mentioned that company email filter has flaws. So why do we have to consider this. These are new pieces of information, Akash. Okay, and we have to take them. Based on those new pieces of information, we have to decide the choices. All right.
Sir,
Huh.
actually, like I know option B is correct, and like even I took option B when I was reading the passage. But also in the first line itself, it is in the passage it is written that he works in the cybersecurity. So it the like line 3, the span email filter one looks a bit uh, not so
Yeah,
good.
I totally agree with you, but we have to choose 3.
Yeah,
And
I
4
get
and 5 are really bad, but I
that.
agree with you.
So
Yes.
like these are the I think problem
Yes.
pieces which we
Yes.
face in exam, I guess.
Yes. 100%. And don't forget, these are actual questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got disconnected in between when you were explaining Arav's point. Can you please repeat it once?
Yeah. So basically, what I said was that if similar email frauds have occurred in the past, then employees, especially cybersecurity people, are expected to be all the more alert. So actually, it shows more badly on them if, considering such things have happened in the past, they are still not learning.
All right,
Okay.
understood.
Yeah. And Android Blue Droid, again, you need to change your settings. But basically, what Android Blue Droid is asking is that isn't point 3 contradicting point 1 that the mistake happened due to company? No. My financial rectitude is on record, meaning I haven't, when it came to financials and whatever, I have always been in the clean, and I have been good, and you cannot you go back to my history and you won't find a single problem. That is a personal thing. 3 has to do with the email filter mechanism of the company. So no, they are not even related. Financial rectitude and the email filter mechanism are not connected. Okay, Android Blue Droid. Okay, any other question, anybody? All right. Now let's come to 3. Now, I hope you guys are now realizing that what I meant when I said that there cannot be a theory. I mean, how can there be a theory to this anyway? Okay, so Sridevi begins to doubt Ashraf's competency even though he handled the phishing emails. Thus, she convenes a meeting with the senior to discuss her role in the company. In the meeting, she shares the following observations. Cool. Which of the above, in a combination, if true, shall best go against his chances of getting promoted? Okay, so let's look at each one of them. Ashraf is poor at verbal communication, which is critical at subsequent levels. Makes sense. Ashraf should have been perceptive, even though the company's email filter failed. Okay. Sort of. And Ashraf joined the email filter team 1 month prior to his receiving the phishing emails. Oh, that makes sense. Fourth, Ashraf rushed to act on Sridevi's request despite his busy schedule. Okay. Now, the problem with fourth is, isn't that what he's expected to do? Suppose he would have told her, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I mean, I have lots on my plate. And remember, she's the HR head. Is that how an employee is supposed to behave to? And remember, she's not asking him to go to the market and pick up her daughter and leave her home. She's asking something to be done for the firm. So how can he reply that I'm sorry, I'm busy? So fourth is a problem. And fifth, Ashraf appears to be highly anxious to get promoted. Now, remember, this is supposed to go. One second. This is supposed to go against Ashraf. I don't know how many people you can come across in a company who are not anxious to be promoted? So how does it reflect badly on him? I mean, he wants to be promoted. Okay. Highly anxious, maybe minorly negative, but definitely not as compared to the first three. So again, for since we have to choose three, so 1, 2, 3, because 4 and 5 are definitely not good choices. So hence C again. Now tell me your questions once more.
So,
Hmm.
so I have problem with 3 as like even if before joining a month prior to his receiving, that phishing email, like 1 month is sufficient, good enough time, right? Like to understand stuff.
Yeah,
And
so it goes against him. No, we have to choose against him.
yeah,
So 1 month is sufficient time. He still didn't learn. So she can take that to tell the senior people that, see, look at him. He's not learning.
yeah. I mean, now I understand it, but I don't know why did I like when
You thought opposite somehow, and this happens. You suddenly, for some reason, when you went to third, you started looking at positives rather than negatives. And and we are supposed to look at negative. This happens. It's okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So while reading this, the third option, in my mind, I was thinking that that the whole team failed there, right? Isn't it? It was not only Ashraf. But if we look at the fifth case, I thought, okay, because he's highly anxious, there are people who want to get promoted, but highly anxious means he was just thinking about it, getting promoted, and this could poorly affect his work. So that's why I choose 5/3, 5/3.
Okay, so the thing with 3 is that even if the team was responsible, he's the one who got that email. He's the one who didn't pay attention. So the filter didn't work because of the team, let's say. But he is a part of the team, and he should expect such things to happen. He didn't pay attention, and he transfers 50K.
No, that's what I'm saying. In the third case, that the onus lies on the whole team. But if you
But
look
not
at
the
fifth, the
50K.
onus is
He
just with him.
transferred 50K. The team didn't transfer 50K. And he individually got that email. So the team is responsible to the extent that why is phishing still happening? But he is responsible because he got that email, not the team. And he didn't pay attention. And on top of that, he ends up transferring that money also. So he cannot be absolved. Team will be fine. We'll go back to the team and scold them or whatever. But he cannot be absolved. In fact, he did worse, no?
Oh, yeah, sir. But while reading this, I thought of only these options.
Sorry?
While reading this, I didn't thought of a product condition. I just thought like what can go against him. So
Yeah. So anyway, that's the reason why we are having these sessions, no? So that next time onward, you start thinking more broadly and all that. That's okay.
Sir, I don't have a problem with 5 because maybe the only reason he fell for this phishing scam is because of his anxiousness, and that does reflect badly on him.
No, hang on. It's not a generalized state of anxiety that we are being told. That he suffers from anxiety disorder. We are being told he's anxious to get promoted. This anxious is very different. This anxious basically means he's just too eager to be promoted. How does that affect reading some email? I mean, he's anxious to be promoted is a completely different thing in the sense that that's what he wants, but that does not mean all that will start affecting his everyday work. In fact,
It does mean when he does get promoted, he might continue with these things. It's not going to reflect good on him. When he gets promoted, it won't just all go away. he will have more responsibilities, and that will put more pressure on him and make him do even worse than
Precisely,
this.
which means it is not the promotion which is the cause, no? Then you are saying it is something in his nature which is the cause, which is beyond the scope. We aren't told that. We are just
sir.
told that he's anxious to get promoted, which does not mean his demeanor is is of, you know, of a nervous, a jittery kind of a person. No, all that
Yes,
is
sir.
beyond the scope.
Got it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so,
Krish.
along the same lines, like even I was thinking, in these DM sets, we are not supposed to bring anything which is beyond the scope of the caselet, right? Like,
Caselet and the choices that we are given.
yeah, exactly. Like it somewhat goes with the same, some to some extent. I feel like with that of VRC as well. Like we are not supposed to bring anything beyond the scope of the passage or like all of that.
Absolutely, yeah. The only place where it differs from VRC is, uh, you need to know what is right or what is wrong in such settings.
In DMs.
In DMs, in RC, you're not supposed to know. I mean, if it is given to us, let's say in
Yeah.
an RC passage that killing is justified for profit, let's say. Suppose there's a passage like that. You have to choose that as an answer.
Okay, but the same thing, like the business ethics and the ethics in all comes here, and that makes a play over here, right?
Yes,
Like,
and that is where that is where it is slightly different in the sense that you can call that as GK playing a role
okay, in DMs.
in DM. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Gaurav not getting promotion cause of being poor and seems shallow to me. Instead, highly anxious seems more promising for not getting promotion. No, listen, Gaurav. You are missing out. You're not reading it carefully. This part which I've just now highlighted is extremely important, which is critical at subsequent levels. So Ashraf is here. He wants to go here at this level. Verbal communication is critical. Think about the word use, critical. He's poor at that. Okay, now if she's giving reasons to her seniors or to the team or whatever that, you know, these are the reasons I think he shouldn't be promoted, she can't rest it only on this one incident. No, there have to be other reasons also. Because they'll say, okay, fine, he messed up once, yeah, but otherwise he's a cool guy and whatever. So that is the problem. Okay, so it is the last thing. It is a shallow reason. It's a very important reason. It is critical at subsequent levels. Are you with me? Plus, fifth, I've already told you enough times that, you know, his anxiousness to be promoted. I mean, show me a person who isn't. You know, so I mean, you guys are anxious to get through a good B school, right? I mean, how is that negative in your preparation? How is that? I mean, when it goes overboard, then it becomes a problem. But otherwise, you know, so I don't see too much of a problem.
Sir,
1 second, let me read Arav's thing. But we have to choose the options from the character's point of view too, if introduced like Shri. So how can we read these options efficiently? I haven't understood, Arav, what you mean. So you take the mic once. I don't know who wanted to talk just now.
sir, Nandini.
Yeah, Nandini, tell me.
Sir, so does that mean, like for this, the first statement, poor at verbal communication, this really doesn't relate to that particular case?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, it doesn't relate to the paragraph. Yes. Understood.
So
That's a
that
problem. I agree. That's a problem. But we have to choose the three best.
Sir, but in fifth case, you said that it should relate to the problem, isn't it? But in first, you are saying it doesn't relate, it's fine.
No. Do not get me wrong. I said two different things. I said that these are new pieces of information. We have to take them. We have to include them to choose an answer. When we are choosing a normal answer, then we cannot bring anything out from outside. So those are two different things. Are you with me? Hang on. When we're choosing like this, then we cannot bring anything from outside. But these things are are additional pieces of information for the question. Okay.
So my question was
So
similar to like how to efficiently reach to the points which are introduced in the later on questions. Like I was also confused between the fourth point, like Ashraf rushed to act on Sri Devi's request. So like here also there is some kind of negating going on, like not this, not this, not this, and choosing the best three options.
Yeah. So
So
we have to choose the one which shows him not ready or not capable as of now to be promoted. Now, if you look at fourth, he did what his boss asked him to do. And remember, we have to look at them independently. So we are looking at it independently, not with respect to the mess he created. So, but he rushed to act on her request despite his busy schedule. How is that negative? He's doing what his boss asked him to do. How is that? How should that be a reason that he shouldn't be promoted? So that's the thing. We have to choose choices which are good reasons that he shouldn't be promoted. That's the thing. Tell me, somebody was talking. Okay, I think nothing. So done, guys. Shall we move on now? Okay. Oh, there's a limit to how much I can paste or what? Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think that is the deal. Oh. What is going on? Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Did sir forget to put the question 6 as options?
There are options for the 6. It's below the question A, B, C, D, E, just above Priyanshu's message.
I generally it says which of the following, if true, the best assuage cases fear of regarding Topsy, and that's where it ends for me. Weird.
Okay, there you Massey sir has sent options after that.
Could you
So
send
Yeah.
us
did you get
options again?
disconnected, Pucks?
I don't think I got disconnected.
Then
That's
it
why I'm
should be
weird.
there. No, then
Okay, thank you.
here it is. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is there right after that message. Anyway, it's okay.
It's not showing up for me.
Okay, cool.
Rishabh, you might want to mute yourself.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Anybody wants me to wait? Anybody? Okay, Krishna. Harshini, the moment you guys are done, just let me know. USA beat, sorry, Netherlands beat USA 3-1.
I am done, sir.
Krishna is done. Harshini. Okay, cool. All right. So now let's straight away go to the questions. One sec. Sandeep shared the news of the admission offer first with Kesar, who exhibited mixed feelings. He was happy for Sandeep's admission. Nevertheless, he was concerned about their father's reaction. Moreover, Saradeep had an anxiety attack a few months back and was working from their family mansion. Kesar advised Sandeep to delay sharing his selection news with their father. Which of the following, if true, will best enable Sandeep to share the news with Saradeep without delay? Now, listen, this is important, okay? Kesar wants him to delay. The question is asking us without delay. This is crucial. I mean, it could become crucial in case your doubts come like that. Yes, Pax. So keep that in mind, okay? Okay. Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks because he did not get the news of Sandeep's bike accident immediately from him. There's nothing wrong in this. I mean, it's okay. It seems to be decent. Why? Because he doesn't like Sandeep to delay. So that's why I underlined this. So anyway, he wants it immediately. Okay, especially if it is sort of bad news. So now remember, this law school thing is bad news as far as Saradeep is concerned. Anyway, Saradeep regarded law as a respectable profession. Okay, so I'll tell you what is wrong with this. What is wrong with this is, or do you want me to straight away, do you want me to tell you the answer and you just straight away ask me your doubts rather than me explaining all the answer choices? Which option do you want? Tell me.
So you telling the correct option and then we asking the doubt if any.
The later one.
The correct option is A. Now tell me.
No, so you explaining each of the options was a better one. Like then we
Yes,
could have come
sir.
up with a contradiction. Like why did you think that? Now why we are thinking the otherwise?
Okay, cool. So what is wrong with B is that these are independent things. He may consider law to be a respectable profession, but still not want his son or his children to do it. Completely independent. I mean, there are a lot of things which your parents might find respectable, but they want you to do something else for various reasons. Reasons could be so many. Suppose you are a doctor's son or daughter. For that reason, they want you to do that. It's not that they don't want you to do. I mean, it's not that. I mean, they think MBAs are damn cool, but then they want you to go for medical because and so on. So not a very good option. C, since childhood, Sandeep, before going to bed, usually shared all happenings of the day with Saradeep. Yeah, fine, but that doesn't mean, because this is a very important thing, and you are bound to get scared. When you shared all the happenings of the day, it need not. And remember, since childhood, so nothing could be of the gravity of this. Plus, we have a better answer choice. D. Kesar had always been paranoid about his family ever since the untimely demise of his mother. Slightly goes against what is given. This is where, let's not go. I mean, remember, this is where the difference is between this being new pieces of information which we have to include versus, if you remember, this being the straightaway answers in which new pieces of information should be avoided. So this is what is going on here, a new piece of information which is not, because the passage is telling me something extremely crucial, which is this. Saradeep wants him to do this, and Saradeep wants him to join his business. And in fact, he thinks he's probably the best among his children. So the fact that Kesar is paranoid is irrelevant. Saradeep and Sandeep are who are important. E. Even after the anxiety attack, Saradeep walked 4 kilometers daily. I mean, this is a useless answer choice. So that's why A. Now tell me your doubts. No, is it?
So
One second. Another reason for B to not to be correct, delay in telling Saradeep would make any about his opinion about the profession. Yeah, okay. Okay, Neeraj. Tell me, who was talking?
So, like the reason why I rejected A was that there is no strong indication over here that my like me telling I mean like the Sandeep telling Saradeep would accept his proposal of joining law school, but the B gives some sort of indication that my revelation would be accepted. So that's why I selected B over A. But like the way you explained, I feel like yes, B should not be the answer, but still I'm like in a fix, like in the exam situation, like how to avoid that.
Yeah, in isolation, I'm not particularly happy with A. I mean, I don't like A as an answer choice, but thankfully you've already compared it with B. So yeah, B is a worse answer choice. That's all. I mean, all the other four answer choices are worse. So I'll repeat something about B, which is, let's say you, suppose you guys, all of you sitting here, want to do an MBA. But you could think of law as a very respectable profession, isn't it? That has got nothing to do with why you start telling people that you should do law, or whatever, or I want to do law because it is respectable. So they're independent things, so it doesn't. More importantly, we know what Saradeep's take is. He wants him to do business because he wants him to join his firm, and he thinks he's the best of the rest. So yeah. Yes, Rishabh, that also is sort of correct. So I wanted to talk on that also, but good that you only brought it out. That yes, it's about delay versus not delay, not about being accepted. Yeah, cool.
Sir,
Sir,
like I understand the reason you are saying A is correct, but like when I chose B for like when I was first reading, it was like from the perspective that his father has had an anxiety attack, and since he considered law as a respectable profession, and like so maybe it won't be as drastic, but for
remember he didn't let Tapsi do fashion designing, and we are not told what he thought of fashion designing, but we are definitely not told that he thought badly of it.
Yeah.
So he seems to be one of those, those dads, those rigid dads, those monster dads, that you yay karna hai, and I know what is right, and all that. So he seems to be one of those. So yeah. So don't forget that.
So fashion designing bit was of the other question, right? So it wasn't in the.
Acha, fashion designing isme nahi hai. I'm sorry. Okay, then I take back. I take back my words.
Actually, sir, if we see option A, if we see option A, like it does tell about what I was going to say. The accident and all. But if he tells about this, and it may give his father the attack again.
No, why will no, man?
I was actually thinking in that sense that's why I chose B, because it was like
you don't get anxiety attacks because your son wants to do something. I mean, maybe once it gets really bad, in the sense the son is hell-bent and insistent, abhi to sirf uska result aaya, so
no, even if he thinks regard is as a respectable profession, then also he can get attacked, right? Because he doesn't want his son to do that.
Yeah, so plus the anxiety attack is, I think, because of the mom and everything, so it's not like that, just because he got admission and, he'll get another anxiety attack. No, I don't think that has got anything to do with it. Do not forget the delay aspect, that this is what is important. So he doesn't want whatever news is there to be not told to him as soon as possible. I mean, he wants it as soon as possible. So remember, as of now in this question, this question is not about acceptance or rejection by dad. It's not about that. This question is, Kesar asks him to delay it. Question is asking us why he shouldn't delay. It is not about whether the dad will accept or reject that thing. The question is about delay versus not delay. So that
Huh?
should be our focus.
So,
Yeah.
so like you said that the question does not say about delay or not delay. It's just like if Sandeep has enough guts to go to his father and tell him about the decision, like he wants to pursue law. So according, like if we see it from that perspective, isn't B the best choice? Like he knows that Saradeep regards law as a respectable profession, so he would support him, and like that
So
will give him
if he
enough
supports
strength.
that, if he supports that, how does it, in fact, isn't it going in favor of Kesar? That's I'm just taking your whatever you're saying at face value, and the other people are also sort of with B because of this respectable thing. So let me put it differently now. If he thinks so highly of law to the extent that, whatever, then delaying, how does delaying harm? And remember, you cannot take the help of A to choose B. So A is independent. So A is out. While choosing B, we don't know what A has told us. So keeping that in mind that A is unknown to us, B, he can listen to Kesar and say after a week, What has it got to do with telling him right now? Remember, the question is asking us without delay. Which of the following, if true, will best enable Sandeep to share the news with Saradeep without delay? B, taking all whatever you guys are saying. I can tell him later also. Yeah, Nandini, that's what. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have one more doubt.
Uh-huh.
So how does like this information that's then like whatever you're considering your entire explanation, how does this information that Saradeep had an anxiety attack few months back, like how does that play a role in this question? Because
How
that
does
also
what?
seems to be
How
how
does
does
what?
the information that Saradeep had an anxiety attack few months back, like that also seems to be quite a significant sort of an information. So
Maybe not
shouldn't
for
that
this
be
question, and maybe not for any question. That's not, I mean, first of all, it's not as if every piece of information has to play a role. So that is one answer. But the other answer is, let me do the opposite of what a few people said here with respect to anxiety attack. Let me do the opposite and tell me how is that wrong. And so if we can do two opposite things, then that information doesn't help us pick up an answer choice, okay? Because you can do opposite things with it. So let me do the opposite, which is, if A is true and he did not talk to him for weeks because he delayed that piece of information, then considering his state of health right now, his mental state, if he delays it now, he will get angry because that's what he does. He gets angry, he doesn't speak. What if it aggravates that anxiety? So remember, I did not take the help of this first, but I'm doing it now just to do the opposite of what few of you are saying, just to show you that it can work both ways, this piece of information. Are you with me?
Yeah, yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Arav is saying, because it has a small premise, has a premise and conclusion that can happen. No, Arav, I won't go. I mean, if suppose I agree with you, no, then what might happen is that late in further questions, no, and I know this from experience because of how people behave in RC. So then they start looking for these things, and I don't want you to get into that. So the simple answer is no. How can we compare the magnitude of the accident to the admission offer? Aren't we generalizing and react in the same way? No, we are not generalizing accident to this news, or rather, we are not doing that. What we are bothered about is this word. This is the crucial word, Diksha. Okay, remember the question is about delay. Kesar has asked him to delay. Question is asking us why shouldn't he? And then this word immediately. So it's not about comparing the the two incidents. No. It's about whatever important news is there, he wants to know it immediately. You delay it, he will get angry. All right. Okay. Option C. Since childhood, Sandeep, before going to bed, usually shared all happenings of the day with Saradeep. So yeah, what I said was that is very different from something so grave which has come up now. Okay. Also, the fact that he is unwell. This is where that anxiety will start playing a role. That he is unwell. So then Sandeep might think that this is not the correct time. I've done it since childhood, so I cool. But he was healthy and fine. Now mom has passed away. He's under stress. He even got an anxiety attack because of which he's working from home. And just because I've always done it, I shouldn't do it now because it's a different situation. That's another reason. Okay, Vanshika.
It even says usually, so like it doesn't mean like every time. There might be some situations when he won't be telling it.
Okay, fifth, Sandeep requested cases resign the head of a new manufacturing plant. Saradeep, sorry. The plant and its culture had to be molded in the same way as other plants. Kesa wanted to identify a candidate acceptable. I think this is an easy one. What answer have you guys given? Hang on, let me just see. Few of you have. Achha, theek hai. So most of you have marked D. I think few have marked. Okay, few have marked A. How come nobody? Okay, yeah. A and D, basically the confusion. Oh, one person has marked C also. Okay, so now let me look at all the answer choices. Tapsi, who headed another plant which was 2 hours away from the new plant, could be requested to take additional charge. There are two problems with this question, major problems. One is 2 hours away and one is additional. She's already doing something. She's good and all, but why are you, do you want her to be sort of good in many things or damn good in whatever she's doing? So this is one problem. The second problem, as in the two problems here, additional and 2 hours, why are you pressurizing her? And all of this becomes more important because there is a much better answer choice. In the sense of we have not much better answer choice. We have a good alternative. We have a good option available. Okay, so that is why A is out. B, Sandeep, who had about 10 months left to join National Law School. This is a ridiculous amount of time. So B is obviously out. Fortunately, none of you marked it. C, Suhasini, who had been a homemaker for 15 years. Come on. She's an MBA, but for 15 years, she hasn't done something remotely connected with MBA. She probably would have forgotten all that. She has been a housewife, okay, for 15 years, completely pointless answer choice. Okay, I understand this MBA word. I think the word MBA was given here to specifically do this, to trick you, to trip you up, and quite a few of you got tricked. Surendra, the deputy head of the largest plant, who had been with them for 30 years and would retire in 7 years. Perfect answer choice. He 30 years, amazing. This thing, okay. Deputy head, and he has 7 years. In 7 years, you can always mold someone to take your position. So a pretty decent answer choice. E is the most technically qualified who joined the organization 3 years back. No, 2 less to take a management sort of a role. So yes, so that's why the answer is D. Any
So
question?
even if it had been like 10 years or something, the technically qualified thing would not be apt, right? Like we don't need technically qualified here for this. So
Not
that's like
necessarily.
managerial.
Plus 10 versus 30, there's a huge difference. And don't forget that this guy, Surendra, is the deputy head. So he's already in a managerial position, This guy is just Dhanush would still be sort of like an engineer working there, So that's why. Any other question?
So what if Surendra's retirement tenure would have been less than 7 years?
Yeah, then it would have been a problem. Very similar to this 10 months. 10 months is 2 less, but yeah. Plus, another problem with Sandeep is he could be having the aptitude for it, but he doesn't have any experience also. So, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
almost missed that 7 years part, so I chose A over D. Like,
yeah. No, the 7 years is important. 7 and 30, both are very important. And of course,
okay.
deputy head. Okay, sixth one, assuage Kesar's fear regarding Tapsi. Acha, she might not take his decision well. Acha, theek hai, haan. I think this is a strange question, but anyway, let's look at them. Tapsi, in a marked departure from family tradition, was fully supported by her family when she decided to marry her batchmate soon after college. Does that mean she will take everything that Sandeep does? I don't know. This is a strange answer choice. Tapsi mentored an online startup dedicated to women's fashion in her free time. Okay, yeah, this is decent because she wanted to be a fashion designer, so she's still doing something related to it. Tapsi, in a fashion school convocation speech, said that she still harbored a dream of quitting family business for becoming a fashion designer. Again, sort of makes sense. Tapsi gifted Sandeep a sports bike on his 19th birthday, even when Sarathi was completely against it. Okay, so she can go against dad. Remember, he was completely against it. So she can go against dad if she believes in whatever something. And probably it seems she really likes Sandeep. When Sandeep was 8, he supported Tapsi's desire to pursue fashion designing. Well, this is a tit for tat thing, so not very strong. So now we are left with B, C, and D. B is worse than C and D because she is still doing something, so she can very well tell Sandeep that just like me, you join the business, you do MBA, you join the business, and you simultaneously or later on you do law degree. People can do law degree anytime, and you do some, you take care of it as a hobby or whatever. So that's why B can be eliminated. And then between C and D, I personally, I mean, I'll give you reasons just because we know the answer of that, but I am personally, I don't know. I really don't know. The answer is D for dog. Okay, but to me, C is equally good. So I can't do much here. I mean, I can give you reverse reasoning if you want, but I'm fine with both C and D. Tell me.
This for
So can
C
you
it
tell
says
why you choose C? Why you think C is the right answer?
Because uh, there are people who think that I made a mistake. I don't want my kids or my younger sibling to make that say or to not go for their dream. And so a lot of times these people say that, fine, I couldn't do it, you do it.
In this case, it's like we are perceiving someone's, like we are putting our thoughts on someone else's character, isn't it?
Anyway, the question is about that. No, anyway, the question is about Tapsi's reaction.
Sir, but if you look at option D, it's very clear, right? That Tapshi is doing something which is against Sandeep's
I
will,
got it. I got it.
and
I
he's
got what you're
still
saying.
supporting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very
Agreed.
clear answer.
Agreed. ठीक है. Now I think D makes better sense. I agree. Yes. What you're saying is that it is not what I just now said is not given here. So I'm sort of including that to bring C as a yes. I agree. I think as of now, D makes more sense to me. Maybe if I think more, I'll come up, but I don't want to think more. Good. I think yes, D is better.
Sir, but in the question, we can also see that she became a supporter for her father's values and beliefs. So, like, is
She
that
was like a model. That's also mentioned there.
yeah? Even that
I
point also.
know. Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah, that also plays a role. I agree. That also plays a role. But again, if I counter that, then I'll again start doing something which is not given here. But yeah, fine, cool, no problem. I think yeah, D.
So could you please elaborate like what these guys were trying to make the point?
what they're trying to say is that when I'm thinking of C to be an equivalent answer choice, I am including. So I'm in a way imposing myself to the choice in the sense that I think this is what such people may do, or could do, but it's not given to us. So what they mean is that she may harbor a dream of quitting family business or becoming a fashion designer. That does not mean because of which she would want her kids or sibling to therefore go for her dreams. This is not inferable from the given information. This is inferable from what I know about such people. So that's a fair point. And why D is right, because I mean, C and D, I told you, both of them seem fine to me. So that automatically makes D better choice. Also because D is not taking the help of any outside piece of information. It is just sort of, it's just there that this is what she did, she took his side.
So, but a birthday gift, I mean, comparing that with a career decision is like
Best of the rest, that's all. We just have to choose the best of the other three are, as I said, out. I was only confused between C and D, and I think D makes more sense because of what these guys have said.
Okay, sir.
I didn't choose D because I thought that the problem here is not about going against the father, but that Tapsi couldn't pursue what she really wanted, and that might influence her reaction. Yeah, I think even I was guilty of that, but I think what these guys are saying, this part also, nevertheless, over time, she became a staunch supporter. So this, I think, is crucial, Varnika. So both of us, I think, sort of made a similar mistake. Okay.
Sir, I think in C option, she still harbored a dream. She was thinking about it, but in D, she actually acted upon it. And it is more relatable to the passage regarding her father. Can that be the reason as well?
That is, but Uska, I have an answer. Though what you're saying makes sense, but that I have an answer, and the answer is that she still harbors that dream. Meaning, if you harbor a dream which you haven't, and remember, what is the dream? She harbors a dream of quitting to become a fashion designer. This is what is crucial. So she doesn't harbor a dream that what if, I mean, I wish I could have become. No, there is a dream that why don't I quit this and become a fashion designer? This is why I thought what I thought. Okay, that if she harbors this dream that I could quit, then why won't she tell her brother that, I made a mistake, you go ahead. So
But
I agreed with what these kids told me, but it's not, what I'm thinking is not totally out of the context. It is connected with what I'm just now saying, but I still will concede because there is a minor thing.
So I think then out of the two options, by comparing both of them, D is better one.
Yes.
But also a point with C, as you said, a dream of quitting the family business. She apparently joined the business because of the fear of her father, because he didn't want her to pursue fashion designing. But she actually acted upon that in D. That is, her father didn't like sports bike for his son, but she still gifted him that. So that can be a reason as well.
Yeah, it is just a more concrete choice. So yeah, that's why.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So one more thing I would like to add in the option C, like why we can reject that, is that it somewhat goes against the passage where it says that she almost imbibed the values of her father, but here it is
it's
saying
good you brought this up, because this is where CR becomes important, the CR theory. This is saying if true, we have to take these choices to be true. So in effect, it is not going against the passage. So this is where the first discussion about the dad becomes important, that he could find law absolutely respectable and still not want his children to do it. And similarly here, she could become a staunch supporter of her father's values and beliefs, but still believe that one should pursue one's dreams. So it's not as if because my dad has these things and I agree with him that the whole world should start functioning like him. I mean, you could have both viewpoints. And that is why this C starts playing a role. So this if true is very important. This is what happens in CR also. Strengthen a weakened question. Remember, if true is crucially important. You have to take those choices to be true to decide.
Okay, so like my thought was going a bit wrong then, like what I said.
Minorly, not totally wrong. You're sort of right, but all I've said is that these two things can exist independently. They are not contradicting each other. That's all that I.
Okay.
If they contradict each other, then there will be a problem. Then that is a genuine problem. But they're not contradicting. They don't have to contradict each other. They can exist independently.
Okay. Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we've spent time for today. So then we'll announce when you'll have next subsequent classes, and I'll try to have someone else take these sessions. Okay, unless you guys insist on me taking, but I think you should have another thought process also. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, and take care. And do not forget what I said in the beginning. You will do much better in subsequent exams if you keep all that in mind. Okay. Good night.
Thank you, sir.